Thank you. As we are seated, can we just have a moment of silence, please? On Saturday, I attended the funeral services for Jack Lyman. You all know the Lyman farm with the golf courses, the orchards. I think a lot of people in this room know of Jack Lyman. He was an unbelievable corporate citizen. He was on multiple boards. He was a distinguished citizen of our chamber, award winner. Just a truly fantastic man and a real role model to so many of us in the business community. So if I could please have a moment of silence for Jack Lyman, a man that has made an impact on our community forever. Thank you very much. We have some good news here with a lot of our members. I first of all want to congratulate Chandler Howard. He will be going on, and this is Greg Shook said this is real big. He's going on the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, which is an unbelievable honor for all of us in the state of Connecticut, and especially here in Middlesex County. Chandler, please stand up and be recognized. Great, really, very proud of you. Also, on February 7th, Ray Click had his birthday. This is a former Pratt & Whitney employee, 32 years at Pratt, 94 years young, and he's here every month. Stand up, Ray. Is Joe Sarah going to buy you breakfast today or what? Also, just a quick announcement. Tonight we have a business after work at the Sheraton Hartford up in Rocky Hill. We're expecting between 250 and 300 there. So if you haven't signed up for that, please do. It gives me a great honor now, hold your applause to the end, to introduce those members of the head table that will not be speaking. Mayor Dan Drew from the city of Middletown, Mayor Enzo Fienza from the town of Cromwell, Commissioner Scott Jackson from the Labor Department, Controller Kevin Lembo. As you know, Kevin is at our events all the time. He's been a terrific supporter. And Commissioner Jackson has been really reaching out to us and doing a lot of good things, and one of which is the workshop we have afterwards. Let's have a round of applause for all of them. Also, I had a good meeting last week with John Mahoney and Krista Karch, who has done an unbelievable job coordinating with Mike Fienza, our 13th annual high school career fair. And this is supported by Eversource, and it's one of the sponsorships of Pratt & Whitney. And Rosario Rizzo has been involved in this for years, along with Wesleyan University. We're expecting about 1,200 students to attend this on May 1st, with about 150 business people offering their advice to these young high school students from throughout Middlesex County. So I want to thank Krista and Michael for the great job in their leadership, John Mahoney for really picking up the ball and running with this over this past year, the superintendent of schools of Cromwell, and a big thanks to Pratt & Whitney, Wesleyan, and Eversource. Let's have a round of applause for all of them. This is a big event. Gives me a great honor now to have Rick Morin up, our chairman, who's done a fantastic job this year.
Great, thank you, Larry. Thanks for coming out on this Monday morning in February. Appreciate it. Just like to thank Pratt & Whitney for bringing us Matt Bromberg to speak to us this morning. Looking forward to it. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to welcome our state and local officials that are in attendance. There's a list. The blue sheet, our famous blue sheet, is on your table for if you'd like to take a peek at that. And we have, continuing our trend of upward tick and new members, we have 2 new members with us here this morning. If they're in attendance, please stand as I read your name. We have Cistus Academy of Cosmetology from Northford. And Spoke and Spy Cider Works from Middletown. Thank you. Great. And please reach out to them if you can and make them feel welcome. We have also an additional award or congratulations in addition to what Larry was reading. We have Eddie Carroll has been named the Development Director for Middlesex County United Way. I'm not sure if in attendance. Yep, great, thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, let's see. So I'd like also to take this opportunity to announce our affiliation we have with Connecticut Green Bank and their CPACE program. I'm going to read this so I don't mess it up. CPACE is Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy, and it's an innovative way to make improvements, green improvements, and get full funding for those. And we have two individuals that we're working with. Jeff Pugliese is working with Mackie Dykes and Rob Schmidt from Green Bank. And if you're interested in this program and its wonderful benefits, please see Jeff and he can get you in touch with one of the individuals and make that happen. I'm just looking forward to seeing some of you tonight at the Business After Works at the Sheraton in Rocky Hill. Thank you.
Also, today, this is really thanks to Todd Birch and working with Jeff Pugliese in our office, but especially with Commissioner Jackson's unbelievable outreach into the business community. As you know, in the state of Connecticut, we are having an explosion in manufacturing jobs, but we do not have a real good, strong pipeline to get those people we need to fill in the slots that are new jobs. More importantly, those people that want to go and have manufacturing as an outstanding career. That's why we've got so many of our students that are here today. We want you to make decisions as you look forward that in manufacturing there is tremendous opportunity. The forum we're having afterwards, we've got about 55 to 60 manufacturers here, will be held in the Jersey room and back here. And this is really going to focus on building solutions to the talent gap within the manufacturing industry. There's a flyer in your packet. You can look at that. Again, I want to thank Commissioner Scott Jackson and Todd Birch from the Office of Apprenticeship, who has just done an unbelievable job working with Jeff Pugliese. This workshop will start at 9:15. So just if anybody would like to attend that, go right ahead. Also, our legislative committee will have the Speaker of the House speaking to us on March 6th at the Inn in Middletown. After the Gino Oriema breakfast, which will be another huge crowd on March 12th, thanks to Liberty Bank Foundation, we are going to be have a terrific workshop on affordable housing, a key to keeping younger workers in Connecticut. As you can see by the theme, a career fair, a manufacturing forum here today, a housing one coming up, that we're really trying to get out and say Connecticut is indeed a good place to live, a good place to work in, and a great place to attend a Travelers Golf Tournament. And with that, we have their unbelievable leader, Nathan Grube.
Very, very smooth transition, Larry. That was nice. Matt, thanks for being here this morning. I want to say, Larry, that, besides having one of, I think, the greatest chambers, the greatest chamber in the state, one thing I have to compliment you on, you've never lost sight of the fact that these businesses, they're people. And that's, the acknowledgement of one of our members' birthday is something I think is unique and special to how you run the chamber. And we've never lost sight of the fact that these are personal, and these chamber events are personal, and it's made up of things that matter, and it's people. So it was just hit me as I was sitting there, but thank you for never losing sight of that. It is March this week, and that means we are 111 days away from the Travelers Championship. I know you're counting. We just had an announcement a few weeks ago. Rory McIlroy committed. He's coming back, which was awesome to see him here last year and the crowds that were around him. We have another top 5 player that we're announcing this week. The field is going to be probably better than it was last year, to be honest. I think the support, the crowds that are going to be out there, it's going to be significant things that we haven't seen in decades out here with this event. So thank you for all of your support. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be announcing our bands, our Women's Day speakers coming up soon. We just launched our volunteer website for registration. We have over 4,000 volunteers, many in this room, who make up the army that helps manage the Travelers Championship. So if you're thinking about volunteering as individual, family, group, whatever, that is up and running. Our charity website's getting up and running here soon, Birdies for Charity. If you're a charity in the room, I say this often, you are missing an opportunity if you're not involved with us. We have free money and recognition for you. If you're a charity, who wants free money and recognition? Anybody? Every single one of your hands should have gone up, Shannon. Thank you very much. So it's going to be another fun event this year, but we are on pace to do something special again this year. So thank you very much for your support, and we will see you very, very soon.
Also, we have one other event. As you can tell, the Chamber's got a lot of activities going, but we're really pleased. We have Jean Chatsky coming to speak to our Women in Business workshop, which will be held on April 10th. And Jean Chatsky is the financial editor of NBC's Today Show. She's got an unbelievable background. She has a book, which I really like. It's called Age Proof. That, for all of us, is very important, especially at my age. So we want you to, if you're interested in attending that, please check with Johanna Bond from the Chamber. Before introducing our keynote speaker today, I would just like to thank some of the Pratt & Whitney team that are with us here today. First of all, Heather Summer is here, and Heather had worked with the Chamber for quite a few years after Riz left, and worked with Riz also here. But we're really fortunate that, and Pratt is more fortunate, to have Heather working for them. So Heather, I want to thank you for your unbelievable long-time support of the Chamber. Peter Holland is here also, another individual that has done, it's just a phone call away from us. Really, he's mostly down in Washington, D.C., but does a terrific job. And of course, our guy, Rosario Rizzo, who was retired a few years ago, but is never retired from Pratt & Whitney because he talks about good things about Pratt every day. And we're very proud of him because he does a lot with our business education partnership. And Alyssa Harrell, who is not with us today, but has done so much. Pratt & Whitney, as I talk about corporate citizens, you know the importance of Pratt & Whitney, what they do as far as jobs and making the best engines in the world, the amount of employees they have in Middletown, up in East Hartford. But more important, Pratt & Whitney has never forgot their role as an outstanding corporate citizen. From the Chamber, they do our Holiday on Main Street, where we literally get thousands of people visiting downtown Middletown over a 4-week period during the summer. They're a strong supporter of our Business Education Alliance, which we have all of the school districts throughout Middlesex County working with the Chamber, one of which of the things we do is the career fair, which is also very important. Plus, they're involved in numerous other charitable functions throughout, not only from the Chamber's point of view, but throughout all of Middlesex County. We're really honored here to have Matthew Bromberg with us today. Matthew is the president of Pratt & Whitney's military engine business, where he oversees development, production, and support of the company's military offerings. Prior to his current role, Matthew served as president of Pratt & Whitney's aftermarket business. Before that, he was vice president of corporate strategy and development for United Technology, where he led the successful portfolio transformation. He serves on the board of the United Service Organizations of Metropolitan New York. He's executive sponsor of UTC for Vets, an employee resource for veteran employees of Pratt & Whitney and United Technologies, which are so important to, I know, so many of us in this room here today that believe in our veterans strongly. Before joining United Technology, He was an investment banker with Goldman Sachs, something that I'm really proud of now. He served 5 years as a nuclear-trained submarine officer in the United States Navy. Let's give him a round of applause just for that. He has a Master of Business Administration from the Sloan School of MIT, a Master of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from MIT, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Physics from the University of California in Berkeley. Matthew Bromberg.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for that kind introduction. It's great to be here in Cromwell. In fact, I'll admit this is my first time at this event, and I've spent the past 25 years circling around Middlesex County, starting with the time in Groton, Connecticut, and the past 15 years up in West Hartford. So it's an honor to be here to represent the Pratt & Whitney team. First, Bob Ledoux, our president, he sends his regrets and regards. He could not be here today. He had prior commitment. Second, as I said, it's an honor to represent the Pratt & Whitney team. Larry did a nice job of recognizing them. For the 40,000 associates around the world, the 10,000 team members in Connecticut, and the 3,000 team members here in Middletown, Middlesex County plays a central role in Pratt & Whitney. It plays a central role in our vision to be the world's most respected aerospace company and to produce and service the most respected engines in the world. Before I go further, I'd like to express my gratitude to a few individuals. Obviously, the delegation here at the table. It's a privilege to be able to sit here with you today. Your leadership and your commitment to the region and the state is exemplary, and we're lucky to have you. Also, Larry, really appreciate that introduction. It's the first time Larry and I have met, but in preparing to get here today, people constantly talk to me about Larry. Well, Larry really runs a tight ship, which being a Navy guy, I appreciate. Larry gets everyone here at every meeting. Larry gets all the initiatives going. And for one of the longest standing Chamber of Commerce in the entire country, I think we're lucky to have someone like Larry at its leadership. So it's an honor to meet you here today, sir. You know, I also think that I'm lucky to be here today because Gino's coming next month, I see, and I would hate to speak after Gino, especially with UConn women's basketball at 28-0, and they epitomize leadership, teamwork, and success. So I think I'll attend that one and listen, graciously. So, in addition, I want to recognize some of the students and teachers here today. I understand you're representing some of the finest schools and programs in the state. Having you here is most exciting to me because you're the future leaders of Middlesex County. You're the future leaders of Pratt & Whitney. If you're part of one of our education systems as a student teacher, please raise your hand. Yeah, there's quite a few around here. For many of us, it seems like yesterday that we were in high school. We can remember our classes, our teachers, our sports. Maybe we can't remember some of those things. We remember our classmates. In high school, you dream big. You create lifelong friendships. Enjoy every minute. In a similar vein, Middletown and Middlesex County and Pratt & Whitney, we're classmates. We've grown up together. The Middlesex Chamber of Commerce, as you know, has been around for over 120 years. Pratt & Whitney has been in Connecticut for over 90, and here in Middletown for over 50. We've seen wars and conflicts. We've seen economic depressions and recessions. We've seen business cycles, political cycles, entertainment cycles, and cycles we probably can't put words to. Sitting here today, I believe that the two of us as classmates are at an inflection point. Before we talk about the future, what's in front of us, let me spend a minute reviewing where Pratt & Whitney and where Middlesex County have been. As you know, Pratt & Whitney was founded in 1925 on a single product, the Wasp engine. At that time, revolutionary, air-cooled. During the war, we went on to sell 360,000 Wasp engines to the United States and our allies. That engine made history for Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart. That engine made history in the success of the Allies in World War II. In fact, it's the only engine that's designated as a historic landmark. Innovation was the foundation and bedrock of Pratt & Whitney and has been ever since. In the 1950s, we ushered in supersonic flight. In the 1960s, we introduced PT-6, which is now known as PT-6 Nation, the most popular commercial engine on general aviation aircraft in the world. And we produced almost 60,000 of them. In the 1970s, we fielded the F-100 engine, which is the engine on the F-15 Eagle and the F-16 Fighting Falcon, which today for the U.S. Air Force and our allies is the primary fighter propulsion, keeping us safe every day. In the 1980s, we developed the high bypass ratio engine, the PW4000, which has been a mainstay of commercial aviation for 3 decades. In the 1990s, we introduced the F-119 engine, which powers the U.S. Air Force F-22 Raptor, which if you had a chance to see fly, defies logic. It's the only fifth generation in the world, it was the first, fifth generation in the world capable of super speeds and super stealth. In the 2000s, we introduced the F-135, the most powerful fighter engine in the world, which today powers the Lockheed Martin Joint Strike Fighter, or Lightning II. So what's next? As I mentioned earlier, I believe we're at an inflection point for Pratt & Whitney and for Middlesex. The future is going to bring many new opportunities, but also many new challenges. On the military side, the F-135 is going into full rate production. We've been talking about this engine in this program for years, but there's only a couple hundred aircraft out there today. In less than 10 years, there'll be over 1,000 aircraft, and that program is slated to put over 4,000 aircraft in the hands of the U.S. military and our allied forces around the world. In addition to the Joint Strike Fighter, we are proud at Pratt & Whitney to power the Boeing KC-46 tanker, which is the Air Force mobile refueling platform, and we have the honor to power the Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider, next generation bomber. For the U.S. Air Force, the top 3 priority programs are the Joint Strike Fighter, the tanker, and the bomber. You know, I'll digress. A few months ago, I was with the Secretary of the Air Force in her office in the Pentagon, and we were talking about the different elements that we work together. She asked me, she said, "So, Mr. Bromberg, my top priorities are the Joint Strike Fighter program, the tanker, and the bomber. How do you feel about that?" I said, "Well, ma'am, I felt good prior to coming in here." It's a big responsibility for Pratt & Whitney. It's a big responsibility for Middlesex. On the commercial side of the business, our revolutionary geared turbofan engine is one of the world's cleanest, quietest, and most energy efficient engines on the market. It powers 5 different aircraft families, spanning 70 seats to over 220 seats, and we predict it'll sell over 6,000 engines over the next 5 years. It's also created an entirely new architecture of engines, and it's going to set Pratt & Whitney up for the next 50 to 60 years of leadership. And on the small engine side, we're shaping the future of regional business and general aviation aircraft every day, ranging from helicopters to private aviation, business aviation. What do these programs mean for Pratt & Whitney? Clearly a bright future. You may be surprised to know that 85% of the world's population has never flown in an aircraft. That's hard to believe when you're running through Atlanta or Chicago or sometimes Bradley if you're on a 6 a.m. flight. But the demand for air travel will continue. And on the military side, the world seems to be increasingly unstable and uncertain. I believe we're in the right business. You can clearly see where Pratt & Whitney has been, and you can clearly see where we're going. We will remain the middle of the aerospace industry. And just as Pratt & Whitney has its place in the center, Middlesex and Middletown are the center of Pratt & Whitney. Middletown is our crown jewel. The facility is home to almost 3,000 employees, almost 2 million square feet of space. It was built in 1953 by the U.S. government, purchased by Pratt & Whitney in 1966, and then opened a few years later as a manufacturing facility. Decade after decade, we've continued to invest in and grow this facility. Since 2011 alone, we've invested over $400 million in Middletown and the East Hartford campus, building infrastructure, upgrading floor space, creating offices. Today, Middletown is our primary assembly and test facility in the world for the Joint Strike Fighter and the geared turbofan engine. It's also home to one of our key module and part centers. Middletown is a destination for the industry. Airline CEOs, Air Force Chiefs of Staff, their teams all want to come to visit one of the premier aerospace centers in the world, right here in Middlesex County. We host countless visitors, and they're in awe as they walk the floor, showing them how we assemble motors. In fact, no one better than Riz at walking someone through one of these factory tours. We've been doing this for over 50 years. We tour the VIPs through the factory, show them our state-of-the-art assembly lines, show them our linear friction welding, which we can talk about later, show them our multi-model test cell facility. But you know what? They're not seeing the magic of Middletown. The magic of Middletown is not in the factory. The magic of Middletown is you, our partners in the community. A world-class factory does not succeed without you. We rely on our partnership with government, rely on our partnership with suppliers, we rely on our partnership with schools, and our partnership with the community. More than 100 of our key strategic suppliers are right here in Connecticut. Many are here in this room today. Many of you have committed long-term capital and resources to support Pratt & Whitney and our programs. And of course, our sister division, United Technologies Aerospace Systems, has a large facility in Connecticut and a large supply base as well. Together, we have and will continue to invest in this state. We will continue to partner in this state. So looking forward, how can we help each other? 3 priorities come to mind. First, obviously, jobs. For the first time in decades, we are hiring. We are hiring to support the growing programs. We are hiring to replace an aging workforce. Over the past few years, we have hired almost 7,000 people worldwide, and we're on a path to hire almost 25,000 throughout the remainder of the decade. Hiring skilled workers on this scale is a challenge. We are partnering with schools around the country, holding job fairs, creating internship programs, and leveraging technology. By the way, we're hoping to draw new people here to Connecticut and all of our sites, and not trade our employees with our partners. As we started hiring, we have found one incredible opportunity: hiring veterans. At Pratt & Whitney, we hire veterans for several reasons. We hire them because they share the core values of Pratt & Whitney. We hire veterans because they bring unique leadership experience. We hire veterans because they know our customer. And we hire veterans because it's right. Today, Pratt & Whitney is proud to say that almost 15% of its workforce are veterans. 15% of our workforce are veterans. And we commit to grow that in the years to come. How? We have broad support from UTC, Pratt & Whitney, and the community. And as Larry commented, we have a special resource group, UTC for Vets. Employee-run, employee-organized, employee-driven. Our resource group has a compelling charter. Recruit veterans and veteran spouses from all services. I'm going to pause and talk about that. We give veterans a lot of visibility, not enough visibility to veteran spouses. Veterans spend 5 to 10 years on average in the service before they come, some longer. Their spouses have trailed them around the world. Many of them have multiple degrees and have been waiting for a chance to contribute back to the community and to their career. If you're hiring veterans and not considering spouses, you're only solving half the problem. We want to recruit veterans and veteran spouses from all services. We want to train veterans in their transition. We want to rejoice the success of veterans And we want to return those successes to the community through outreach and charity. From a standing start a few years ago, UTC for Vets has grown to almost 1,500 members in 15 locations around the country. And recently, for the past 2 years in a row, Pratt & Whitney has been ranked a Best for Vets employer, something we're very proud of. We're honored by this recognition, but we're just getting started. As we grow, I think we should work together. Across Middlesex County, we should partner our resource groups. We should leverage the collective strength and size. If you're hiring a veteran, can we hire the spouse? If we're hiring the veteran, can you hire the spouse? How does the town help us? How does the state help us? If you don't have an employee resource group, I ask you to form one and let us help you. We're happy to benchmark and share best practices as we're about 5 years into our journey. You may not know that every day 1,000 service members are leaving active duty in the U.S. military. And if you assume they're all married, that's 2,000 people a day are leaving government service looking for a community to call home, looking for a place to start working, looking for schools to educate their kids. 2,000 people a day. Let's bring those veterans and spouses to Middlesex County. Let's give them jobs. Let's welcome them in our community. The second priority, I alluded to it already, values. Why am I up here today talking about values? We need to work together on values. Reinforcing values is a top initiative for the Pratt & Whitney leadership team. On the obvious side, when you're hiring so many new employees and replacing so many retirees, we have to be very concerned that we recruit the right talent. Teach them what it means to be part of Pratt & Whitney. Our company was built and has succeeded on two simple words, dependable engines. Those words imply values. Pratt & Whitney's core values, the same as United Technologies: integrity, respect, innovation, trust, excellence. We don't talk a lot about values. I was in a religious conversation last week, and we were talking about how it's even very difficult to get your families to go to services because the new religion in the United States is sports. Don't tell Gino I said that. But when I grew up, no one did anything on Saturday or Sunday. It was time for family, time for values. Now we have to figure out how to squeeze it in. As a company, we have to squeeze it in. In this day of social media and tweets, 60-second stardom, and gerrymandering across numerous spectrums, we need to invest in core values. Inside Pratt & Whitney, we spend a lot of time talking about these values. We interview for them, we train for them, and we use those values to steer us during challenging time. Given everything we're reading in the press about our government, other companies, individuals that have success and then failure, I think we all need to spend time talking about values. Very rarely is it a conversation with suppliers, with reporters, with officials. I think we need to bring it front and center. Are we making the right decision today? Are we talking about that decision? And are we setting ourselves up for the future? Let's talk about values together more often. Finally, third priority, and this one's obvious, is investment. We have some world-class suppliers in Connecticut. Many of you are in this room, as I said. We also have opportunities to improve, and we have some threats. We need to continue down the path that Middlesex Chamber of Commerce has started. The initiatives that Larry's mentioned today and I've heard about and getting ready to meet you here today, they're world-class. But we need to continue down that road and accelerate. We need to find the talent and the money to improve all the facilities here in Connecticut. Our hidden asset in Pratt & Whitney in Middletown is a supplier base in the community. However, it's under attack. You may think that just Pratt & Whitney is competing aggressively with our peers in the industry, but you are too. As we sell these engines, which are unique all over the world, to our air forces and our commercial customers, when they buy the engine, you want to know the first conversation they have with me and my peers? This is great, but how can I help make it? And for them to help make it, it doesn't mean replacing Middletown. They want the suppliers. They want what you do here. They want what we do here in Middlesex. I'm not in on that, by the way. I want to make Middlesex and you the most productive, most capable, most competitive suppliers in the industry. We need that in Pratt & Whitney. We need you to succeed. We need cost improvement, we need quality improvement, we need productivity improvement, we need technology, we need innovation. We're in this together. And don't get me wrong, I've walked some incredible floors here in Connecticut of Pratt & Whitney partners. But I've also walked some that aren't yet upgrading, aren't yet leveraging data analytics, adaptive machining, additive manufacturing, digital projects. We need to defend our suppliers here in this county from new entrants by out-innovating them, by out-producing them, and by out-designing them. As I said, Middlesex County has a unique position. We have a good start. Relationships with UConn, Goodwin, Assuntuck Community College, it's putting it in the right direction. Our aim is to inspire and train the next generation of engineering and manufacturing leaders. And the programs that go earlier, the STEM programs in kindergarten and grades 12, I was talking to Gary Miner, that's how we get people excited about what we do here in Connecticut. We inspire them with 3D printers and 3D scanners, with 3D drafting software that now actually is open source and you can download on the internet. We should strive for every factory, every plant, every shop here in Connecticut to be world class. We need it, and you need it. So in closing, I look forward to working with you as we hire together, as we invest together, and as we grow together. Our future is incredibly bright at Pratt & Whitney. We've got here on the success of those that came before us. Bob likes to talk about the fact that we stand on the shoulders of the people that came before us in Pratt & Whitney. Well, those shoulders are here in this room. We couldn't be where Pratt & Whitney is today, a world-recognized leader, without you. But we have work to do to keep it. Thanks for being good partners. Thanks for being good classmates. We have decades of experience together. We have decades in front of us. Just as the classmates are doing here today, they're dreaming together. They're setting plans together. We're going to conquer the world together. Let's go after our dreams. Together, we will win. Thank you.
Okay, we have that workshop immediately afterwards, 9:15. Thanks again to the Labor Department, Building Solutions, to the Talent Gap and Opportunities for Connecticut Manufacturers. Our next breakfast is the 12th of March with Gino Auriemma. After today's talk, the sun is really shining in Middlesex County. Have a great day. Thank you.